What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. So in today's video, I will be doing a performance analysis on the group The 3 Degrees. Now, prior to about a couple of weeks ago, I had never heard of this group, but one of my subscribers so graciously sponsored this video and asked me to do a reaction to this group. And this person was also kind enough to give me a little bit of a background on this song and this group. Without further ado, I'm so excited to hear what they've got. This is The 3 Degrees singing Stevie Wonder's song Living for the City, as well as For the Love of Money by Huff, Gamble, and Jackson. Let's go.
All the great writers of today happens to be one that we really think is fantastic. The writer and singer, also producer's name is Stevie Wonder. He has a knack for writing songs that tell about the situations of today. And this particular song is about a family and the hard times and struggles that they go through trying to make it. If you listen very closely to the words of the song, you can just about picture and understand exactly what we mean when we say that life can be very rough, especially when you're living just enough for the city. Yeah.
Woo! Okay, let me pause here. You do not see this formula in pop music today, like at all. And pop music just means popular, right? If this was popular back in the day, which I will assume it was, it would also be categorized under a pop song. And you don't see this formula at all anymore. It's so crazy, the differences in formulas as the generations have changed. And the formula I'm talking about is the slow introduction before the song actually starts. And that slow introduction is accompanied by, you just get this this hovering bass underneath, and then the speech going on by, her name is Valerie Holiday, the girl talking right now. That speech going on before any singing really starts off the song. And what that does is it gives such a chill, comfortable vibe, and it makes me as a listener feel like I'm part of the creative process of whatever is happening and whatever is going to happen, because I feel like I'm being directly talked to. That is such a great feeling, even if you don't know anything about how to create music. It's a fantastic job.
And understand exactly what we mean when we say that life can be very rough, especially when you're living just enough for the city. Yeah. We're gonna sing it, living just enough. Just enough for the city. Living just enough.
Yes.
Just enough for the city.
Nice.
Uncle is born in a hard time, Mississippi. Surrounded by four walls, and Lord, they ain't pretty. His parents give him so much love and affection to keep him strong, moving in the right direction. Living just enough
Nice rhythm.
for the city.
Okay, let me pause here. I wanna break what I want to talk about into two sections. First, the instrumentals. Man, the instrumentals are so good. So, in the very beginning, when Valerie was talking, you heard that low bass guitar just hovering over one note. And the note that it was hovering around was going da 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 da.
You know, among all the great writers of today, happens to be one that we really think is fantastic.
da, da. So it was hovering around a D natural, and those notes around that D natural are just decorative notes. But the main focus was just kind of pedaling or staying on that D and keeping a steady pace while Valerie was just giving her speech over the bass. And then when they started to sing, the bass moved up, I think moved up a fourth. Da, da, da. So the bass moved up a fourth to a G natural and started hovering over that G natural. So you heard da 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 da, something like that. It was constantly hitting that G natural.
We're gonna sing it, living just in the
as it was the D, and just the idea of repeating on those same notes with a couple of decorative notes around it with that rhythm just makes it funky. It sounds so good. And then the way that they filled up the space with the addition of the instrumentals, I heard some brass sounds so good. And whoever sound engineered this did a really, really great job. It really just sounds overall very full, and that's just the instrumentals. And on top of that, which leads to my second point, is the vocals. Oh, so the vocalists are doing something pretty intriguing and phenomenal to my ears, and that is they're singing with a very soloistic sound individually, because there's 3 in the group. They have a soloistic sound, but at the same time, when needed, they blend so well together. And that's done either through a lot of practice or just intuitively. You can really hear the individuality within each person's tone when they choose to sing with vibrato. It really, really comes forward. Now, what I like about the sound overall is the way that it's filling out the space, accompanied with the instrumentals. So for my ears, I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but I'm going to do the best I can. So for my ears, the instrumentals are filling out the space in like a 3-dimensional way, almost like a sphere, or think of a basketball or the world going this way. I feel that the instrumentals fill out the space this way. And then when you add the vocals are taking that 3-dimensional sound from the instrumentals, but now pulling it this way in both a lower depth, but also in a much higher way than the instrumentals are doing for me. The way that they're doing it for my ears is you have the prominence of the lead vocalist singing her line, but then at the same time you have these background vocals singing in their higher register while she's singing a phrase or when she's done with a phrase. And for me, that's what kind of pulls the sound in a vertical direction rather than all around in a 3-dimensional way. And what's interesting also is the background vocals will not only sing in their higher register, but it's an echoing effect. And sometimes that echoing effect is done when the lead singer hasn't even finished her phrase. So you don't really get, sometimes you don't get a gap in sound. And that's another way to fill out the space. So you have your lead vocalist singing her line, then before she's even done, the higher background vocalist will come in and interrupt her line and do their own thing. And that kind of pulls, for me, the filling of the sound in a vertical way. And it sounds so good. And you get the prominence of the lead vocals in the forefront. And then you have the background vocals singing in their higher register. And while the sound, let's say, is reserved, it's still in mixed voice or chest voice. So you still hear a powerful sound, but it's not as forward as the lead vocalist. And then on top of that, to fill out the sound even more, you hear these fill-in words of hey when there's a gap in sound. Let's say when the lead singer has stopped singing and there's just a slight pause, you'll hear a hey, or you'll hear a hey in the middle of them harmonizing, or you'll hear a hey at the ends of their phrases. It's another way to fill out that sound so beautifully. Let's rewind and see if you can catch all of those nuances going on. See if you can understand the idea of a three-dimensional sound from the instrumentals, and then the vocals expanding that vertically. And pay attention to those background vocals that are singing higher when the lead soloist is singing, and also those filler in haze during pauses or during their harmonies.
Surrounded by four walls, and Lord, they ain't pretty. His parents give him so much love and affection to keep him strong, moving in the right direction, living just enough for the city. His mother works some days for 14 hours, and you can bet he hardly makes a dollar. His mother goes and she scrubs the floors for me, and you better believe she better get some pay. Living just enough for the city. His sister's black, but she is sure pretty.
Nice, this is someone different.
Lord, her legs are sturdy to walk to school. She's really got to get up early. Her clothes are old.
Yes.
Never are they ready. Living just enough for the city. Brother smart, he's got more sense than many. His legs is long, but soon he won't have it. He won't have it. Not find a job is like a haystack needle. 'Cause where he lives, they don't use common people. Living just enough for the city.
Okay, wow. Just something very quickly. Just a general observation. I've noticed that these ladies, all three of them, have a really nice, bright, and forward sound. That seems to be coming across with the sound that I'm hearing so far. Additionally, I've noticed that the higher they've modulated, the more head voice they're giving in the main part of the chorus, specifically on the words just enough. And it's nice because it's evenly balanced out with head voice and chest voice and mixed voice in the phrases before or after, which keep that sound pretty full altogether. It sounds so good, you all.
It's that needle. 'Cause where he lives, they don't use common people. Living just enough for the city. Living just enough for the
Hey! Transition.
We're talking about the word money. I'm quite sure that everyone is very familiar with that word. Because you'll find that without
Yes,
money,
babe.
you cannot survive today.
Yes.
I mean, money buys just about everything, right? In different places, they call it different things. Like, for instance, in France, they call them francs, right? In Holland, they might call them guilders. And in Spain, they might call them pesetas. In England, it's known as a pound. Well, in the US of A, it's known as the almighty green.
Okay. I hope you all understand how much is going on in this arrangement. It's so good. Do you hear the enthusiasm in that guitar bass? Did you hear the enthusiasm in the brass section when they were playing? Just the enthusiasm in the instrumentals in general sounds so good. And then on top of that, the vocals. So I hope you're hearing those filler vocals I was talking about earlier, whether that's the background vocalist who's singing higher, just kind of doing her own little thing up there, or the filler in haze or ooze, or I think they said yeah or right or something. And it sounds so good. And to me, this is kind of like in an ad-libbing fashion. What I mean by that is these ladies are producing these sounds, the filler-in sounds, whether they're full-on words or just vowels, they're producing these sounds as a response to an immediate emotion. You would do this in regular conversation in everyday life. You heard this when Valerie, while she was speaking, I believe she was asking some questions. And if someone asked you a question, you'd answer. And they answered by saying, I think like, right. And then they had a hey, and maybe they were saying, hey, because, hey, yeah, I agree with that. Or, hey, yeah, I vibe with that. Or, hey, yeah, I know what you mean. Or, ooh, like, ooh, that was interesting. Or, you know what I mean? So all of these ad-libbing effects are so great because it almost sounds like they're just freestyling. They're just making a sound because that's what they're feeling in the moment. Yes.
We're talking about the word money. I'm quite sure that everyone is very familiar with that word, because you'll find that without money, you cannot survive today. I mean, money buys just about everything, right?
Right.
In different places, they call it different things. Like, for instance, in France, they call them francs, right?
Right.
In Holland, they might call them guilders.
Yeah.
And in Spain, they might call them pesetas. In England, it's known as a pound. Well, in the US of A, it's known as the almighty green dollar. Money, 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 money.
Woo!
Right. I wonder if we can possibly get everybody to say the word money.
Ooh, okay. That was so genius. That was so genius for the background vocalist. I believe it was the middle vocalist and the higher vocalist. I could be totally wrong. But when they were singing, money, 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 when they were doing that, it was so genius to put that there because they started singing the word that Valerie, who is talking and asking the questions, they're singing the word that she is going to ask the audience to eventually repeat. So it was almost like them singing money, money, money before she asked the question was like a foreshadowing of what was going to happen. And then it's also just a nice reminder of what the actual word is. Yes, it's only one word, but to me that was just the little things, you all. It's so genius to me.
Known as the almighty green dollar. Money, 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 money. Right. I wonder if we can possibly get
Here's the question.
everybody to say the word money. You think I'm going to say the word money? Yes? All right. We'll try it on the count of 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I want everybody nice and loud so I can hear you to say the word money. We're going to try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on! 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4. A little bit louder.
Hey, I liked it. I liked it. Y'all, I haven't had a song hype me up this much in a while. Huge thank you to the person that sponsored this video and introduced me to this group. It blows my mind, all of the music and the talent that's out there that I'm so unaware of. And I'm very grateful also for this YouTube platform because it's introduced me to so many crazy talented artists. It's wild how many of y'all there are. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and also leave a comment down below if you've heard of the 3 Degrees, because is it just me? Am I just the only one who's never heard of them? Their sound is incredible. Also, turn on that bell notification so you know every time I put up a video on YouTube. Check my description box down below. I've got links to my previous performance analysis videos, as well as ways that you can connect with me on a more personal level. And that is through Discord and Patreon. If you'd like to join my Patreon, it only is $3 a month, and we have a blast over there. I think we do, if I must say so myself. If you're also interested in sponsoring a video just like this one, check out my description box below. I have a link right under where it says sponsor a video. It'll take you to my personal webpage and it'll have instructions on how you can do that. I hope y'all have a fantastic day and I'll see you soon. Bye!